guys, welcome back to the Space Podcast. We've had a couple of weeks off, but now that things are sort of slowly getting back to normal, I want to say. Thought we'd pick it back up and sort of see how people are getting on and just catch up generally, really. Today we're joined with Kieran and Tom. Give a wave, both. Kieran's zombie out.
Hello.
Oh, he's stuck. There he is. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Stuck. It's okay. So what's been happening, guys? Are everyone okay? Like, obviously, Kieran's got a bit different, but
I do in university. I've been in university today. Or it's everything is online.
Online, yeah. So you've just been at home.
Yeah.
And how's that going online? Everything good?
It's good and bad.
What's bad about it?
It's looking at the screen all day.
Did you take regular breaks? Have a little walk?
Yeah.
That's good. Loads of water, rest your eyes, all that kind
Yeah.
of. Well, what is it good to sort of still be doing stuff though, rather than doing nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you prefer to do that than just sit. Oh, good. Okay. What about you, Key?
I mean, obviously because I'm isolating, I haven't done anything today because I've been sent work from college, but they've been a bit like, well, there's some stuff, but then get on with this as well. So it's just been, I haven't had any like remote lessons as such, but the likes of throughout the week, this week and next week, I start having a lot more remote like sessions with tutors and things like that to see how I'm getting on.
Are they one-to-ones or are they
So some of them are one-to-ones and some of them are a whole class sessions.
Okay. So what about now that you're isolating, like, because I know you mentioned the other week that you've got certain practical stuff to do, have you, or something like?
Yeah. So the likes of, I was meant to be doing a show tomorrow in college, and I was like the lead sound designer, and obviously because I'm not there, it's not gonna have like a negative impact on my final grade for this for the first unit, but at the same time, it's not like college at the minute don't really have any like clue as to what they should be marking if I'm not there and things like that for the final and practical side of things, whereas from a written side they can do.
All right, okay, I get it. So that'll have to pick back up when you get back, potentially.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What about you, Tom? Like in terms of like marking exams and stuff. Do you have exams or anything, or?
Yeah, I exams. I have loads of assessments with uni. When I do assessment, I send it by email or I send by a marker, like assessment, and then the teachers get a marker and that assessment marker back to me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's going to be all done online pretty much for the time being.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any practical stuff at all? Or?
Practicals, not this year.
No.
But might be next year. I have some practicals.
Okay. Well, that's quite lucky then, isn't it? So nothing has to change. Then you can do it online. Oh, sound.
Like going out and do things like go to like charity events and all that.
Okay. Well, that actually kind of leads me into what I was going to sort of talk about for the first bit of it. Obviously, because COVID's kind of impacted everything in this area now. In Sefton, we're all in Sefton, aren't we? Well, you're in Huyton, aren't you, Tom?
Yeah.
But it's all right, but that's still kind of the same. Like it's impacted it the same. Like, do you think there's anything? Have you noticed anything in the area that's changed, sort of, at all due to this? Do you think anything's got better or anything's got worse or anything like that? Like being at home.
I think by me, there's more testing sites to get yeah, like to get tested.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
What about you, Key?
I mean, like a lot of the likes of Amazon and like delivery vans and things, because a lot more people, are buying online and things now. So like we found, like especially around by me, like there's always vans and things going past delivering stuff.
All
So
right,
we always hear a lot more like traffic, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. Because it's quite tight where you are, isn't it, King?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Roads can get chocker pretty quick.
Definitely.
I can't remember, to be honest.
No,
Wow.
I used to live around the corner.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then. That'll
So
be right.
yeah, know that area.
You know this. You know these things. So, say if you didn't have, this place or these sessions, would there be anything that you'd recommend as kind of good in the area? Do you know of anything like that? Like, for example, today, like I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about what about my area that I'm living in, which is actually it's close to you, Tom, about 10 minutes away from you. And I was like, I don't know about anything, but then as I went for a run in the morning, there was a fitness class going on outside in the park, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. So there must be certain things somewhere that I'm missing, like on social media or something like that. So I was just wondering whether you guys knew of anything in your area, in Sefton or around Knowsley, where you are, Tom.
I don't really know of much around by me because, like, I only really go to college and back, so like I don't really get out to see a lot more, if that makes sense. And the likes of social media, I haven't seen anything on there or anything on the local Facebook group for the area or anything.
Okay. Do you reckon that could be down to what you're? So you're on the local groups on Facebook? Did you say then? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's probably where you would see something as well, isn't it? I imagine.
Yeah, and I think as well, like we've got, like we have a lot of different people in our area. Obviously, like most people, but like we have the likes of people who are like elderly and things like that, so they're isolating a lot more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the likes of you don't, and then you obviously see other kids coming to and from school, people going to work and things like that. So there's there is a diverse range of like age ranges, if that makes sense. So the likes of it's mainly people going to school and work. So I don't think, and as well, there's not a lot of like, there's no sort of parks, if that makes sense, like right in the middle of where we are.
I get it. So you'd have to travel out a little bit to that. You'd have to walk a little bit.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, like, so what you're saying is basically you live around loads of old people. And then, and there's nothing for them to do except be old. Yeah.
Do you think that's why you're not seeing anything on social media or anything like that? Because people are isolating and stuff like that.
Because the community's old. Because they haven't got social media, probably.
I mean, the likes of yeah and no, because I think like you get like we've got some of like the older generation using the likes of Facebook and that and putting stuff up, but it's always like further afield, if that makes sense. So the likes of, let's say, Lydiate, for example, they're doing like an outdoor charity fitness thing or something like that, so it's not local, if that makes sense. It's always further afield.
Yeah, when we say local, we mean like around the corner, and it's not around the corner.
Yeah,
it's not. No.
What about you, Tom? You notice anything?
By mine, it's like quiet, nothing going on by mine.
Is that different to normal, do you think?
it's different, yeah, because by my like I like the park by my the big one, and then by Highton there's like youth centres, but they're all shut, and then the gyms are shut.
Oh yeah, so the gyms are shut. You go to the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a big thing then, isn't it? Well,
Yeah.
apparently Boris has just announced that the gyms are going to reopen soon. Yeah.
Basically, everything's opening back up again.
Yeah, depending on what tier we're in and stuff, I think. So we'll have to wait and see all that. But apparently, if it's looking promising, hopefully with all the testing and stuff, we'll be able to drop a tier or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or just Abby's back, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We need official words.
So what do you think could improve then in the areas?
I think it should be more activity, more doing things.
So there could be more outdoors, even though we're in COVID, not like lockdown, all that kind of stuff. We've got COVID. You think there could be more outdoor activities like fitness stuff or creative stuff or anything like that? Do you think?
Yeah.
I definitely think so, because as well, it not only enables the likes of our age groups, but it enables like younger ones, like let's say 5 to 8-year-olds and things like that, and right the way up. Like it's not just for kids; it can be for adults as well. For being able to like get out there and be creative and things like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like a social distance group, like you say 2 meters apart, and they do like a walk or somewhere.
Yeah, so like a group walk or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how did they sort of come into play with lockdown rules? Are you allowed to do that? You're allowed to meet with one other person, I think, aren't you?
Yeah. So I think lockdown rules would be groups of 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, what would happen? What would stop you from walking in pairs then? Like 2 and 2 and like or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as you're not like walking like as a group, you're okay. Because we done that for college because we had to go to a board game cafe as part of our research. So we walked around. At the time, it was group of 6. So we walked down in our groups of 6 to the cafe.
Yeah, so that could work, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think it's the sense of people just being a part of something, even if you can't speak to the people at the front. I think it's just that thing of having something to look forward to, isn't it? Like, and being a part of a community, whether that be small or whatever. I'm not talking about the wider community. I mean, like, just a small thing that's yours. I think that's what people are missing at the minute. Like, a lot of people who like to go to football, and that's all they look forward to is to go to football. It's not like a big thing to go to the pub or anything like that. It's just I like to go and watch the football, come home and whatever, but they can't even do that at the minute, which is a nightmare. So he's just announced as well that they can do that.
Yeah. The lower the tier, the more you can.
The more you can do.
Yeah.
Because like I've just been sat there watching it. There's all kinds, that they're saying that could happen, but we won't know definitely until Thursday.
Yeah, so that's the way.
Yeah.
So like in terms of a whole lot, like obviously, have you both watched the lockdowns, or you both know what's happened? You both know what you can and can't do at the minute, don't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, we know. Kind of, I get mixed up a little bit sometimes. To be fair, how does that make you feel? Like in terms of like the world as a whole at the minute? Like I get a little bit kind of frustrated sometimes, but then I'm kind of like, well, I've got to get on with it. I've got to just kind of keep busy in my own way. But a lot of people do get a little bit flustered by it, don't they? Because it's a lot to grasp.
Yeah.
We're quite lucky because we can still work. So, we can still keep ourselves busy all day. Like today's flown by. But I know for someone like yourself, Key, who's obviously isolating, today might have been a really long day. There might be 2 completely different mentalities on it. What do you think on just sort of the thing as a whole? How he's feeling about it?
For me, do you want to talk, Keelan, or I talk?
No, it's all right. Go on.
Okay, for me, I like I'd have been out properly been out with this lockdown,
Mm.
with the post lockdown. I'd have been to town. The last time I've been in town is February time,
Right.
and I'd have been nowhere properly.
Is that affecting you? Like, can you notice the difference?
Yeah,
Well,
like I get bored sometimes.
you get bored. See, that's interesting because you're quite a busy person anyway. Like you, Tom, you're always doing things.
Yeah,
I suppose it's the repetitiveness of doing things on a screen, isn't it? That's the hard bit.
yeah.
So you'd say it's quite a bit frustrating for you at the minute, then probably.
Mm.
And what about you, Keith?
Like for me, it's the likes of really frustration for the likes of I can go to college, mix with everyone, but yeah, I'm not allowed to walk home with my best friend. You know, like it's
Yeah.
a bit like that, and the sense of all people can basically do is go from work to home or work to the shops to home. You know, stuff like that for essentials and things like that. So it's like so you can only go to two places.
And a lot of
Which is
people think
either-
more to life than just work. Like, so
Yeah, like they're like the only place you can go. You know, like is work, home, or shops for essential food and things, or if you're going to see a family member, but it can only be one of stuff like that. So, and as well, like yeah, you can go out for walks and things like that, but there's like after a bit you get bored of like walking like around your local area, whereas you can't the likes of go like further afield to go and do exercise and things like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah. So that kind of leads me on to my next point. Like, nice little segues, Key. I'm enjoying that. I was going to ask you what he's doing to keep busy, but just thinking back, like, so I was thinking, what have we done to keep busy, like as a team as a whole, and as a youth club and all that, all that sort of stuff. And I'm just thinking back to the escape room stuff we did the other week. Technically, we weren't in a national lockdown then, were we? Or were we?
No, we weren't.
We were still on a tiered lockdown.
We were tiered.
Yeah, we were tiered.
We were pretty one of the highest in the countries at that time.
What we were doing was we were on tier 3 under Sefton Council's discretion on what they want us to have open and all that sort of thing. So basically, we were allowed to have groups of young people in, but obviously all the good stuff that we always implement here: social distance, masks. If you can wear a mask, if you're not, exempt. Bring your card, lanyard, thingy, whatever you've got, and then that was it. So we weren't under any strict things because it came in to effect the Thursday.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was just after, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the viewing night of the escape room party thing.
Was it?
Yeah, it was that Thursday.
Bonfire night?
Yeah, it was bonfire night, yes.
Interesting.
It was, yeah, because I passed me driving test on the Wednesday.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, because you got to try and change your thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at that that project then, like the escape room one. It's still technically a lockdown project, let's say. Like that project was kind of designed to keep, when I say this, it doesn't really apply to you guys in particularly, but it was designed to keep young people off the streets during bonfire nights. Like, one, so that no one gets hurt. Two, so that no one offends anyone or throws eggs like Josh likes to all the time. Throws fireworks at people, all that kind of stuff. Keep you safe. Like, do you think that project that we did that, or was it a waste of time?
I like it. The process just keep me entertained. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Tom, I've just edited your bit with you when you were with Bethany in the detective room. I was listening back because that was really good feedback. So
yeah,
I'll come back to it then. That's really good. So it kept you entertained. What about you, Keen?
Like I'm gonna like it kept me like not being able to like sit down and just watch TV, if that makes sense, and sit there all day doing
So it's
nothing.
productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kept you mentally active. So we were
Yeah.
talking just before about Ben going on a run and like physical things, not being able to do physical things. This was more of a mental activity. We
Yeah.
all agree about that, and it kept us all mentally active. So we weren't,
like kind of like a physical quiz, isn't it?
Yeah,
rather than a Zoom quiz. I think it worked quite well. Like, and you know, like thinking back, we had 21 people, was it, on the feedback night, the viewing night, yeah. So you know, that was a really good sort of thing. This question doesn't really apply to you, but you obviously don't go out and you aren't offenders. You don't go out and start egging cars and all that kind of stuff.
Volleying wing mirrors.
Yeah.
Just from your point of view, though, as a young person, do you think that that project would potentially keep people from offending? Is that the word, offending? I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah, offending, causing aggro,
causing
like
mayhem.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it would?
I think, yeah, because because it's not just about saying, here's a load of materials, get on with it. It's a case of you have to sit there, plan it, and it wasn't the likes of, here's your room, you're going to do the circus room, let's say. Here's your room, you're going to do the, I don't know, spy room, let's say.
Yeah.
Like, it was left down to the young people, and you would just sort of, yeah, that'll work. Like, putting it into motion, if that makes sense.
So it was a young person project sort of thing, even though I got a little bit too invested in my one, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So how do you think the staff did that week? Like, would you say you felt supported, or just kind of, was it kind of, yeah, but they left us to it and it was great, or it was kind of, well, I would have liked a little bit more help on this, or I would have liked to know a bit more about that?
Or where you micromanaged.
Yeah. Sorry.
Supported, and obviously, it was. I think it worked both ways, if that makes sense. So the likes of the staff supported everyone, and the young people supported them, and it all come together nicely, if that makes sense.
Yes, it was less of a. It was more of a collaborative thing rather than a. Right. Okay.
This is what's happening.
Yeah, we are youth workers. You are young people. Let's see. You do. We'll sit back and just make sure it doesn't all go up in flames.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's probably pretty much hits the nail on the end. But so, have you got any kind of general comments about it? Just so that, and this is just so that we know for future things what was good and what wasn't good, rather than us probing you with questions, like no leading questions. Do you know what I mean? Have you got anything that you'd want to say about it that you'd do different, that you would do again, or anything like that?
I think, like, obviously, due to we could only have so many in a team, but it would be nice to have like a few more, if that makes sense.
A few more rooms, or
the likes of.
Yeah.
Probably both. Like, I think like some groups had maybe a few more than others, if that makes sense. So maybe if it was shared a bit more equally, like the amount of people to a team would have been, I think, would have made sure everyone was involved, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. So was that's more of a COVID restriction at the minute, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
But as a whole, it's kind of a decent project to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon, Tom?
Yeah, I'd agree with Keelan.
Okay.
I think it'd be better, like, well, I think is suppose like feedback forms. to people.
To give out some feedback forms.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that could be a good idea.
Okay.
Or I might do that then. I might put some questions on a little survey that you can answer or something online.
Yeah.
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 That'd be good. That'd be good for us to know that. Obviously, it's good for anyone sort of funding and stuff, but it's good for us to know as well that they enjoyed it, because sometimes I know what yous are all like too nice and you'll just say yeah to our faces to keep us happy. But you know, it's nice. It'd be nice. You can be honest and stuff. We try our best. Do you know what I mean? Did you feel?
Yeah.
This is just unrelated. Obviously, because I was conscious that like cases were going up, like for COVID and stuff during that week, and we were kind of like, But did you feel safe coming in?
I feel safe. Yeah.
So you weren't worried. Like, obviously, I know everyone's kind of worried in the back of their mind, but you just felt safe, kind of coming and attending and taking part and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sound. And was that something we did as an organisation anyway? Just space in general. Do you think we're quite good at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the likes of all the young people knew sort of to ensure hadn't have turned around. You know, you've got to keep 2 meters away from everyone. I think everyone would have done anything. I think to protect themselves and to protect others.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Sound. Well, that's pretty much. Yeah, so feedback is it's at I was right. We've got a full Zoom. Yeah, so that's pretty much. It was pretty much an all-around good project then. It was good for everyone's well-being. Everyone felt safe, and if we can do more stuff like that, great. Sound good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What was the next bit we were going to talk about?
Yeah. So we're gonna sort of. You guys got your ear pretty close to the ground in terms of politics and stuff like that, and what's going on in the world. No.
I do a politics lecture on Thursday.
You're doing the politics lecture, or you've got a politics lecture?
I got a politics lecture.
You've got one? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep this brief. We'll keep this very light. But say, I don't know, say you were offered a load of subjects to talk about in the Commons and in Parliament. What would be your sort of top 5 areas around what young people want, what young people need to focus on with young people?
Okay, I got one. I got the first one, health, because the government spend money on defence now, on the things where I read up. That's where the defence, where the money going to the government. But my one, I want to spend health, mental health, the police, the youth service, and food for people, for homeless.
Okay, so if we got health, so I'm guessing like the NHS, yeah, that side.
Yeah.
Mental health services as well. Charities, would you say like the food and stuff like that? Okay. What else was there, Tom?
I say like youth service.
Youth services. So so in what way would you personally, Prime Minister Tom, would you impact youth services?
I put money to the youth service, like funded by the council, not spend it on other things.
Okay, so would that be for more sessions like this, or more facilities, like bigger, more buildings, or what do you reckon?
Both, I think, more settings and more youth services around the area
So
for
just
people.
put more,
Yeah,
offer more, yeah. Good.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you, King?
Keeps us in a job.
Keep you.
I think like health, like especially mental health for young people is definitely a big one nowadays, and especially during now. I think pollution and the likes of new renewable energies and things like that can also be a big one within young people. Um, to definitely a lot more money into youth services and the way things are spent to the likes of on facilities, more youth workers themselves, and like more money into sessions and things like that. Um, that's three. I think like public services as well, and the way maybe not just like the way they are now, but opening up the likes of um like the way you have like the likes of army cadets and things. Well, like, you could have like the likes of police, fire, fighter cadets, if that makes sense. And things like that to sort of teach young people, like and other people, like life skills and things like that.
Yeah, some more things to put them instead for future life.
Yeah, more groups
Yeah,
is what I'm guessing, which is what it sounds like there. So more groups for people to go to.
yeah, like a lot more sort of group work, and it also allows people to, make new friends and develop friendships that they've already got and things like that.
Or even make friends, because
Yeah,
you think about it, it's very very it's impacted all of our lives. It's impacted some more than others, but there will be some young people who are quite isolated, and giving them an outlet like clubs, like scouts, like a youth club, just a general youth club. It'll give them that thing of, I'll go and see if I make some mates.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a really good point. A really good way of divvying up money. You got one more key.
Let's put it on the spot.
Yeah.
What about education?
Education.
Because you put money to education, you put in children get the better lessons.
Okay. Well, what's education? Would you say key? With that,
I think the likes of maybe the likes of primary schools, colleges, so maybe a bit at all sorts of different institutions and things like that. Like I know for one now at college we get a really big budget because we are, obviously everyone's funded by, Department for Education and things like that, but as well because we're more of a specialist college. So the likes of if you went to Hugh Bird, you wouldn't get like the college wouldn't get the amount of funding that we get because we, like, and a lot more like secondary schools are turning into academies and things, and it's all at the end of the day, in my opinion, about the funding and about the money.
Yeah.
The likes of, because it's okay for a school to go, we're going to change into an academy. It's all because they get a slight bit extra money every year on top of the original about what they're getting.
People from universities need to pay like £9,000 like for 3 years. But people, some of my friends want to go to university, but then can't, because they can't afford it.
So would you say, Tom? Would you say about scrapping university fees, or would you say lower them so that everyone can go?
But scrapping them or lower, making everyone to go because
we take them right down.
Yeah, take really down because it's like £27,000 for 3 years.
Yeah. It used to be like £2,000, didn't it? Yeah, something like that, and then it went shot right up.
You go.
Yeah.
Just in
So
time.
it's just a normal lessons. You teaching what you teach, like school.
And do you think that during COVID, these sort of weird and wonderful times that we live in now, that these should lower them? Because let's face it, you're not in the classroom half the time. So why?
No.
So in my head, in my logic, which is probably a bit weird and messed up, but in my head, I feel like if you're not in the classroom, you're not going and using that service, why should you be required to pay that amount?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. What do you think, just because people pay the proper price for it.
Yeah.
Because the income of the parents is high, that they can't afford to pay.
Right, okay.
And as well, the likes of you're paying £9,000 to basically sit on Zoom on Microsoft Teams. That is it, literally. That is basically what you're paying £9,000 for. Is for the university to have Microsoft Teams license or a Zoom license for them to sit there and give you a 4-hour lecture and whatever you're learning or studying.
And you two are doing it now for free, and because you like it.
Well, whether we've got that knowledge, that's debatable.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny enough because when I was in lectures, I would save more money to be able to have them at home like this. But now it's like the worst thing in the world, isn't it? So
yeah, because people don't happy because they're sitting at home, and people in my university, people pay upfront the proper price. No student loan, nothing, and pay, and they sit in the room or the halls and do the lecture or the things online. But that's not like a proper university experience.
Yeah. Can I just ask you guys, both?
Yeah.
Right, we're talking about what you mentioned. What's something that's negative that's happened during lockdown and stuff. Have you got any positives, like really things that you've learned either about yourself or about your family or your world that you live in? Is there any positives that you've gotten from this little short one, and the one in the spring?
I think this is too soon this year. I think because we never hear about soon last year. This is new. We can like connect to people, loads of people in once, and like do like talk on like families and all that. That's a positive.
It's brought a lot of people closer, and so you could say, which is quite nice, I think.
Yeah. What about you, King?
I think it's sort of taught me about the likes of having people really close to you, especially, like the likes of going to school and things. You've got your friends around you to sort of have a mess and a joke with and things like that, But then, obviously, going back to like what happened is that it's brought everyone closer in a way, because everyone's a bit like, what's going to happen? Are we ever going to like see each other again? And so, like that's what some people have been saying. And the likes of, if we didn't have Zoom or anything like this, going back to what Tom said, people wouldn't talk to each other. People would just sit there and go, well, that's it, life's over basically, it's what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think for me, like it's kind of similar in the sense that it's not taking I've learned to not take those little small things for granted. Like just coming here. I'm so happy that I can still come here. Do you know what I mean? And now it's made me appreciate it a lot more. Just saying like, well, I'm glad I can actually come here rather than I've got to go to work, which I'm never really like anyway. I don't think any of us are here, but it's kind of, it's nice to sort of be like, oh, I get to come to work. You know what I mean? Rather than I've got to go, I get to go. So
yeah.
Or you don't have to go and sit in your living room at a computer.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's sort of changing those small thinking habits, innit?
Yeah. And for me, I think it's. I heard something. It was in the summer or something, and it was like something along the lines of life. Life at the minute is about the little wins that you get. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to win the lottery or something like that. It's like, do you know what? I get to, for us now, we get to come to work. We get to come be in our place of work. We're quite lucky because we've got a job that we love to do, and we still get to go to it. And we get to work with young people. We get to do these things, that thing, the other thing, and it's all about those little, these little things which we get to be grateful for. And I think people are being quite grateful about it,
appreciative, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite deep conversation, this, isn't it?
I think that was quite nice. Though I think we're all doing okay, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we'll leave it there then. Wrap up, So we've talked about general stuff, talked about the escape room stuff that we did, how he's doing, how he's both changed the world if he's the Prime Minister. Start by lowering university fees and stuff, which is not good to me now, we're paying them back.
Refund the NHS.
Refund my university fees that I paid. And I'm just generally more appreciative of stuff. So, cool. All right, we'll sign off there then. You can catch us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, where you'll probably be watching this on YouTube. Any info, get in touch with us on any of those social platforms. And see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.